And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all, your girl, Letitia James, the Attorney General of the state of New York, is under fire, y'all. She's being blasted because reports say that she has threatened hospitals in the whole state that if they refuse to do gender reassignment surgery, that she's going to come after them. And I'm talking about gender reassignment surgeries on underage people, y'all. Think about that. Like if a hospital were to say, yeah, we're not gonna, we don't feel comfortable with that. Now you have Tish saying you're gonna be in trouble with the state attorney general and we could actually bring charges or civil penalties or what have you, y'all. We're going to take a look at that today. And also, again, how she is being accused of having coerced Michael Cohen, who is Trump's former attorney, into testifying against him, y'all. So they're saying there is a pattern of coercion with Tish, y'all. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Jonathan, thanks so much for joining the program. I mean,
thank you, Lawrence.
From a legal standpoint, can the Attorney General force a private institution to perform surgeries that they have decided to end?
Now, this is an extraordinary move by James. It's just the latest controversial move that she has made as Attorney General. She's essentially telling these hospitals that if you comply with federal guidelines, I'm going to prosecute you. I'm going to seek a recovery of damages from you, possibly shut you down. She's not clear on how far she would go. But the real irony here is that often you hear this mantra from people like James of we have to follow the science. Well, 40 hospitals have suspended these procedures. The AMA has thrown a flag on this and said that the evidence is not clear that this is beneficial for these minors. The Society of Plastic Surgeons opposes these procedures. And so what James is saying that even if your hospital reaches the same conclusion that this is harmful and that we should not be doing this, you still have to do it because I'm going to charge you as discriminatory. And Lawrence, got to keep in mind that many of the European countries have also moved in the way of the Trump administration, according to what was called the Cass report, that had raised serious concerns over these procedures in terms of the harm to minors.
Now, y'all, under previous administrations, the surgeons, they were doing these operations and they were all for it. But over time, it seems like they may have seen the error of their ways. Y'all, I'm definitely not for it. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm not for it at all. But it seems like certain surgeons came out and they said, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this is wrong. And so they wanted to fall back from that. But Tish says, you have to keep doing these surgeries or else I'm coming after you.
Here's one of the surgeons that used to be there that performed some of these surgeries. Let's watch it.
I can only imagine what the parents were going through. I mean, they're told that their child is going to kill themselves if they don't have these surgeries. You know, they're pressured, and what are you supposed to do? You drop everything to do the right thing for your child. As physicians, we're supposed to follow evidence-based medicine, and so much of the data did not show that what we're doing was the right thing.
You know, Professor, metaphorically, they held these parents at gunpoint and told them they had no option here. Either they follow this gender reassignment surgery or these kids will kill themselves. And I think that has to be studied as well.
Yeah, it's truly horrific with the pressure that is put on these families, often by these doctors, where the families are often not fully aware that the science here is strongly contested on things like the Cass report, on these reports of the AMA and the Society of Plastic Surgeons. That is the science. They're saying that there is not that evidence to support this, but there is evidence it might be harmful. Now, by the way, the basis on which James is proceeding against these hospitals has been rejected by the Supreme Court in a case called Scrimeti involving a Tennessee law that restricted these types of procedures. The Supreme Court said that is not discrimination.
Now, y'all, you can call what she's doing in this situation with the hospitals as coercion. I call it coercion. Maybe there's a stronger legal term, threatening. But remember, not long ago, Donald Trump's former lawyer, he said that she had coerced him into testifying against Trump, and he seemed to indicate that this is just one of her ways of getting what she wants, y'all.
Well, former Trump fixer turned critic Michael Cohen is now sharing new insights about his role in that case brought against then candidate Donald Trump. Cohen now claims that prosecutors in both the Manhattan DA's office and the state's attorney general's office coerced him into delivering testimony to secure convictions against his former boss. CB Cotton is live in New York with the latest on this version of Cohen's story. Hi, CB.
Hey, Aisha, a different version indeed. So in this explosive Substack post, Michael Cohen suggested he's not trying to defend President Trump, but instead wants to shed light on how cases are built and what happens behind closed doors before a jury ever hears a word. And this morning, Aisha, President Trump appears to agree with Cohen's comments, writing on Truth Social in part, quote, "It was a setup from the beginning." Michael Cohen, once President Trump's personal lawyer, was considered a key witness in the hush money and civil fraud cases against then presidential candidate Donald Trump. Now Cohen says it was clear to him during the time he spent prepping for the two trials that prosecutors only wanted testimony that would convict Trump. He wrote on Substack in part, quote, "Letitia James and Alvin Bragg may not share the same office or political calendar, but they share the same playbook. Both used their platforms to elevate their profiles to claim the mantle of the officials who took down Trump. In doing so, they blurred the line between justice and politics. And in that blur, the credibility of both suffered." Cohen, who served prison time for fraud and lying to Congress, also wrote that he initially cooperated in the cases.
He was coerced, y'all. Let's take a look. Here it says, President Trump's lawyers Wednesday demanded the release of all communications between Michael Cohen and New York Attorney General Letitia James's office in response to a revelatory Substack post the ex-fixer made where he claimed he was pressured and coerced to testify against Trump. The 25-page filing comes about a month before Trump's team is due to file a brief with the New York State Court of Appeals in response to James's request for the $500 million civil fraud penalty against the president. Now remember, y'all, this had been thrown out. Now James is asking that it be reinstated. So the $500 million penalty is thrown out. Trump's trying to keep it thrown out, and James is fighting to get it back, to get it reinstated. The president's legal team called for an order requiring the production of, quote, all records of all communications between Michael D. Cohen, quote, and the Democratic AG and her staff, including interview transcripts, notes, emails, letters, and recordings. The attorneys noted that Cohen's testimony is at the heart of the New York Attorney General's case and prompted James's office to launch the politically charged investigation of Trump, his family, and their businesses. They explained that Cohen's alleged communications with James's office are vital as they decide whether to file a motion to vacate the judgment. So yeah, y'all, I feel very uncomfortable with this. This is one of the reasons I covered Maine and their governor, your other girl, Janet Mills, y'all. Listen, if people become adults and they decide they want to do this, they want to do that, generally I'm like, hey, hands off. But kids, especially little kids, they can't make these decisions. Y'all, I have a 1-year-old. And I have 2 older children who are still preteens. No way I'm letting them make these major life decisions at this stage of their lives, y'all. So what do you think? Do you agree with Tish? The hospital should be required and forced to do these operations, or else they would face penalties? Or do you think, what the heck is going on in this world that you would have an attorney general threatening hospitals over something like this? Let me know what y'all think. Drop a comment down below. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one. You know that we are a paralegal school. If you've been watching our program now, you know that we've been around for 23 years. You know that we help people get going in the paralegal field. You know that we've helped hundreds of people since 2003 start their career in the paralegal field or even move up in their career. Our certificate is good nationwide, and our program comes with an internship placement so that you'll get real experience on your resume. If you're interested, y'all, we are running a discount for all of our YouTube subscribers. Click the first link down in the description. Join us. New year, y'all. New career.